Nike SB. Nike skateboarding.
Look at these.
You might own a pair. You might own 5. You might own 25. And even if you don't, there's probably somebody in your life who cares way too much about sneakers.
I'm a sneakerhead. Of course I'm gonna keep all the original boxes that the sneakers came in.
And even if most people who obsess over these shoes can't tell the difference between a kick flip and a no-comply 360 flip nose manual out, this shoe-obsessed population of men is a direct result of the skateboarding division of Nike. Nike SB. It's one of the most ubiquitous lineups of shoes the world has ever seen, and at the heart of it all, the SB Dunk, a shoe that pushed the boundaries of sneaker design, brought out wild collaborations, and helped sneakers become more than just footwear. They turned them into a canvas for creativity and culture. But how did Nike, a brand that failed at first to even get skaters on board, end up redefining not only skate culture, but pop culture as a whole? Welcome to Speed. This is everything you need to know about Nike SB. Nike was already a giant by the mid-90s. They had just about every major sport under their belt. Basketball, baseball, football, running, football, you name it. If it had a ball, Nike was into it. By 1997, half of the athletic shoes sold in the US were from Nike. The swoosh was everywhere. But in the world of skateboarding, Nike had about as much cred as Ralph Lauren does amongst goths.
Actually, have you ever heard of a double RL goth? Very common.
Skating was all about anti-establishment vibes, rebelling against the mainstream, and doing your own thing. I mean, it's a bunch of boys and girls rolling around on doors with wheels on them. It's a wild concept. You ever look at skateboarding and just think, like, what is that? It's gymnastics on a board with wheels on it. It's so hard and so dangerous. It's like playing guitar that you have to be like athletic to do. Nike, on the other hand, was the exact opposite of dangerous athletic guitar. They were the definition of a corporate giant. And the last thing skaters wanted was to be seen wearing anything that felt remotely mainstream. This is the 90s.
99 cents.
I legitimately remember being kind of weirded out when I heard that Nike was getting into skateboarding. Nike thought that they could crack the skate market, and in 1996 they made their first attempt by launching the Nike skate line. And if you want to know why it didn't go well, you can start with the names of the models. Names like Snack with a K, Chimp with an S in front of it, Chimp, and Chode. There was really a shoe called the Nike Chode, and I'm pretty sure that Chode meant the same thing back then as it does now. Oh. Nobody in the boardroom was like, doesn't even mean anything else. It's like a Nike executive heard a bunch of skateboarders talking like at a gas station and it was like, oh, I heard one of them say chode. Maybe we'll call it that. Should we find out what it means? How? Well, we could ask them. What? Heavens no. Talk to teenagers? Are you kidding me? You're the scariest group of people on the planet. They might make fun of how I look. They see your weakness and they just dive in on it mercilessly. Now let's figure out how to sell them shoes. Chode it is. Chode it is. Chode, 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 chode. A young Bam Margera was actually the very first rider on the Nike skate team. But the shoes were so bad, he didn't even want to wear them. To fulfill his contractual obligations, he'd simply cut the Nike swoosh off of the chodes and then glue them onto his own shoes that he could actually skate in. That's how far off the mark Nike was. Instead of embracing Nike, skaters stuck with brands that they trusted. Vans, S, DC, America, Globe, DVS, and Osiris. These brands were skate first and born from the same culture. Nike was seen as a poser attempting to jump into skating. But Nike didn't give up that easily. In 2001, they tried again by buying out a small Portland-based skate brand called Savior. Now the idea was simple: we trick everybody. If skaters don't want to wear Nikes, maybe they'd wear something from a smaller, less corporate brand. One that just so happened to be owned by Nike. Much like Anheuser-Busch owns all of these small craft beer companies. Now, Savior would have access to Nike's cutting-edge technology, giving them a leg up in terms of performance. And they brought in a solid roster of skaters, including Stefan Janoski, Brian Anderson, Brad Staba, John Rattray, and Tim O'Connor. Savior had a laid-back, irreverent attitude that theoretically resonated with skaters. They put out shoes with features like bottle openers built into the laces and ran marketing campaigns that leaned into the athletes' personalities. But despite doing a lot of things right, Savior never really caught on. Their shoes weren't selling, and by 2004, Nike pulled the plug. Still, Savior was an important stepping stone. Nike learned from the experiment about branding, about respecting the culture, and about the importance of building real credibility. And that brings us to the moment when everything changed. Nike SB cracks the code. After 2 failed attempts, Nike was ready to give it one more shot. And in 2002, they made the move that changed everything. They put Sandy Bodecker in charge of launching Nike SB. Bodecker was a Nike veteran who joined the company in 1979 as a footwear tester and rose the ranks to help the company break into European soccer, i.e. football! If you're a soccer player like Jesse, then you get made fun of. But you also know just how massive Nike is in that sport. But skateboarding, this was gonna be a different beast entirely. Bodecker knew that Nike couldn't just waltz into the skate world and expect skaters to accept them. There was too much skepticism, too much bad blood from the previous attempts. So instead of throwing money at the problem, Bodecker did something simple. Something that I think a lot of us should do. He listened. He talked to skaters, to shop owners, to the people who actually lived and breathed the culture.
He became a skate fan first and then built from there.
I think he probably read more Thrasher than me, which is awesome though, right? Because like, hey, if you're gonna be in part of skateboarding and want to be welcomed, like, you're gonna have to really know the depths of it, right? Not just, you know, how can we make money on this?
There's no magic bullet here, just honest conversations about what skateboarders wanted and what Nike could bring to the table.
It looked like he approached skateboarding by going, we can't get in there unless we do something for skateboarding, because the previous things looked like it was trying to take from skateboarding.
The big breakthrough was a shoe that Nike already had, that skateboarders already loved. I'm talking about the Dunk. It was originally designed for basketball back in 1985, but skaters in the 80s and 90s had adopted it because of the durability and solid ankle support. So instead of creating an entirely different model, Bodecker and his team took the Dunk and retooled it for skating. They beefed up the tongue, added more padding for extra comfort, and used Nike's Zoom Air technology for better cushioning when ollieing and such. The result? The SB Dunk. Nike wasn't just throwing a product out there, they were bringing a beloved shoe into the skate world with real updates that made it better for actual skating. And Nike didn't stop at just making the Dunk skate friendly. They built a team of skaters that gave the brand credibility right out of the gate. First 4 riders: Danny Supa, Gino Iannucci, Richard Mulder, and Reese Forbes each got their own Dunk colorway. All these shoes weren't just performance focused. This time, they were personal. They were expressions of the skaters' personalities and the culture that they represented. By tying the product directly to the skaters, Nike gave SB authenticity, something the previous attempts had seriously lacked. I mean, being connected to a guy is much more meaningful than having a bottle opener on your shoe. I don't even get that one. Like, what? Thank God for Sandy Bodecker. Dude, he's like walks in, he's just like, wait, what? I don't know, man, we've tried everything. We named it after a wide wiener, and then we tried to give him a bottle opener on the shoe. And I don't know what they want. Whoa. What if we use this shoe that we already have, okay, and just like let like 4 guys choose the colors? Yeah, I guess that would be a good idea. Should we put a lighter in one of them? No, I don't think we need to. Okay, I got an idea. What if we made all the laces out of gummy worms? I don't know what these guys want. Free haircuts? Every shoe gets a free haircut. No, they hate haircuts. What is skateboarding? If it's surfing for the street, shouldn't they even do it barefoot? What if we make the shoe look like a foot? Can we please just try naming it after our again? This video is sponsored by Factor. A lot of you guys out there are in the comments wondering why I'm looking so good and healthy and skinny and fit and handsome. GG's. Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's a number of things. I walk a ton now, 10,000 steps a day, minimum, but I've also been eating healthier. Healthy food often takes a bit more work, but a cheat code for that is a service like Factor, which delivers fresh, never frozen meals right to your doorstep. Whether you're managing calories, maximizing your protein intake, both of which you should be doing, or simply trying to eat more balanced, Factor has dietitian approved meals that will help you meet your wellness goals. A dietitian is a professional food person. Choose from 6 different meal preferences, including keto, calorie smart, and vegan/veggie, and round out your orders with nutrient-rich smoothies, snacks, and energy shots to keep you satisfied all day long. This is a nutrient-rich smoothie, 18 grams of protein, and it's got caffeine in it. It's a cold brew latte smoothie. Drink this right when you wake up, go for a walk or a run. I do. I know a lot of you guys aren't eating breakfast. You got to. I know that you've got a lot going on outside of the kitchen. I can relate. I am also a speed man. Keep your life going and turn to Factor. They deliver fresh, nutritious, chef-prepared meals ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code SPEED50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders. That's code SPEED with 3 E's 50 at factor75.com to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month of orders. I know that a lot of you boys are not eating breakfast. And then came one of the most pivotal moments in Nike SB's early success, the launch. Now, rather than coming in swinging its big old corporate chode, Nike SB went for a more low-key approach. They pulled up to the first ever action sports retail show, a crucial trade show for the industry, and I'm realizing is probably gonna show up on this channel a lot. Well, they pulled up with just a small, humble booth with just one shoe, the Nike SB Dunk, and it worked. They ended up winning the award for Best Small Booth, which, for a brand like Nike, was unheard of. And honestly, if you think about it, kind of lame. I mean, that, like, a show like that could really change a company's trajectory. Nike comes in and is like, actually, we're competing in small booth this year. We just brought one shoe. But even though Nike probably crushed a few small businesses at that trade show, they did actually do quite a bit for small skate businesses. Focusing on local skate shops rather than bigger retailers put Nike SB in the best place to reach skaters while supporting small businesses that were beginning to be neglected by the other current major players for skate shoes. Today, having a Nike SB account helps lend weight to a local store and may even help a store stay in business.
He knew the Dunk had value to collectors, and he was going to offer this product in a skate shop only, so the shop would benefit off the collectors coming in and buying it, and it would fund the shop for a month.
As Nike SB started to gain momentum, the team expanded, bringing in even more heavy hitters from the skate world, like Eric Costin, Lance Mountain, and my buddy Steven Janoski. Each skater brought their own style and credibility to the brand. But perhaps the biggest coup for Nike SB came in 2004 when they convinced Paul Rodriguez to leave S and join the Nike SB family. That same year, P-Rod won his first X Games gold medal, instantly cementing himself as one of the top names in skateboarding and giving Nike SB a massive boost in legitimacy. And then in 2005, just 1 year after joining Nike SB, P-Rod became the first skateboarder ever to get his own signature model from Nike. His line grew to include 10 models by 2017, putting him in an exclusive club that included only the biggest names at Nike. This moment wasn't just about sneakers. It was about showing the skate world that Nike was committed to the sport at the same level that they were committed to their top athletes in basketball, soccer, and beyond.
They were treated like any other athlete at Nike. Now, first class flights, really nice hotels.
It was like royalty. Like the way we were treated was like ridiculous. I felt like Andre Agassi.
Now, while the SB Dunk was the foundation of Nike SB, there were other shoes that made a major impact. Take Janoski's signature model. Unlike the tech-heavy shoes that dominated skateboarding at the time, Janoski's shoe was minimalistic, influenced by boat shoes and moccasins. It wasn't about the bells and whistles. It was about clean design and versatility. These shoes were popular. Everyone had these, whether you were a skateboarder or not. My grandma had a pair.
It was really part of Stefan's plan to make that thing bigger than maybe what people saw in skateboarding ever before.
I work out in them, I get married in them, go to funerals in them, go to skating. I don't know, that's how good mine are. I don't even have any other shoes.
Now for actual skaters, there is a strong case to be made that the Janoski is even bigger and more important than the Dunk. Go to any local skate spot and you're all but guaranteed to see at least one pair. Because skaters can be, let's say, reluctant to embrace new technology. And the Janoski has been the go-to now for 15 years. Outside of skateboarding, there's something I cannot emphasize enough, okay? Sneakers did not look like they do now before Nike SB. There were exceptions like the Dunks and Air Forces in the early 2000s from Concept Japan, which had wild colorways, but were exclusive to Japan. Car guys. But Nike SB took things to a whole new level. They were early standout dunks, like Reese Forbes' denim SB Dunk in 2002. Then in 2003, Nike SB dropped the infamous Heineken Dunk, featuring a colorway very similar to the colors and logo of a certain brand of beer. They pulled them straight off the shelves after a cease and desist, but that made them even more popular and more coveted. But perhaps the most infamous release was the Pigeon Dunk in 2005, designed by Jeff Staple. The drop caused riots in New York City. This wasn't just another sneaker release, it was a full-blown cultural event. Nike SB continued pushing the boundaries with drops like the Freddy Krueger Dunk, pulled before the release after, again, legal threats, making the few pairs that survived some of the rarest and most valuable sneakers the world has ever seen. And speaking of valuable, the Paris SB Dunk, featuring unique artwork by Bernard Buffet, became one of the most sought after shoes ever. And later, skaters like my friend Ashad Ware and cultural icons like my friend Magnus Walker also had their own special SB shoes. Nike SB didn't just change the way that skaters looked at sneakers, it redefined what a sneaker could be. Each limited drop felt like a new chapter in the SB story, and the scarcity of these releases only added to the hype, and hype there was. These are one of the biggest contributors to the fact that the word hype is used so much. Nike SB was no longer just for skaters, it was for anyone who appreciated design, anyone who appreciated culture, anyone who appreciated storytelling, all wrapped up into a pair of sneakers. And those are all things that I hope you appreciate.
This is a grail among grails. This is a beautiful shoe.
Oh my god, that's my size. Paris SB is one of the rarest SBs ever.
I got the Grateful Dead right here. Special pair.
But just as fast as the hype had come, it began to fade by the early 2010s. Dunks were sitting on shelves, and skate shops that once thrived on SB releases were seeing fewer and fewer customers. It looked like the SB Dunk had seen its heyday, but in the late 2010s, something happened. The SB Dunk found a second life, this time through streetwear, influencers, and social media. High-profile figures like Travis Scott and Virgil Abloh began wearing SB Dunks again, reigniting interest in the shoe. Travis Scott even launched his own collaboration, and suddenly the SB Dunk was everywhere again. As with many things that resurfaced, the return of SB Dunk sparked mixed reactions. Some welcomed the comeback, while others saw it as over-commercialization, a reminder of how mainstream attention can water down what once felt authentic. Now, this tension reveals a larger truth. When something underground goes mainstream, it's inevitable that it changes. It's the cost of exposure and growth, for better and for worse. And perhaps this is one of the reasons for the Dunk's most recent slip from the top. It no longer serves the people that Nike served so well at the beginning. We've seen it happen across all kinds of different subcultures. Think of like punk rock, which began as an anti-establishment movement only to become a fashion trend sold in malls. Or graffiti, once literally illegal street art, now a fixture on the walls of every tech startup's open concept offices. What starts as niche and sometimes even rebellious often gets co-opted by the mainstream, influencing broader culture while losing some of its original edge. And that's the paradox of influence. For a subculture to change the world, it has to evolve. And in that process, it risks losing a part of itself. The question is, how much can be given to the masses without compromising the core identity? Can a culture retain its soul while gaining wider recognition? Now, in the case of Nike SB, they didn't just follow a trend or appropriate a culture. I mean, they did both of those things, but they helped shape how niche cultures intersect with the mainstream. While Nike's impact on skateboarding came with mixed feelings, it undeniably elevated the sport and gave it a stage that it had never seen before. I mean, it's in the Olympics. So while trends will come and go, the SB Dunk's popularity will rise and fall. But its legacy reminds us that subcultures have the power to change and shape the world. And in a world where things go global almost instantly, and we move faster and faster away from subculture and towards a monoculture, where will things be forged? Where will cool stuff bake if it spends less time belonging to a few people and quickly belongs to everybody? I guess only time will tell. I guess eventually we'll just be eating dust and watching the Gray Channel. Yo, thanks for watching this video and supporting the channel. We're really early on, but we're starting to move. We're figuring out how to do this. So we're like every other week right now. Thank you for being here. Hello to our new subscribers and our new audience. A lot of you guys haven't even seen me talk about anything other than Stussy and now Nike SB. So welcome aboard, more to come. Sometimes we might talk about cars. Follow me on Instagram at James Pumphrey. Follow Speed at speed.co across all platforms. All right, dudes. I love you. This is so fun!